is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media Channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. And on this week's episode of World's Biggest Collectors, episode 45, I am joined by the dude who loves movies. He has a brand new YouTube channel. He is a big-time physical media collector. We had a great conversation about collecting, what got him into collecting at a very young age, how 80s, 90s nostalgia movies and pop culture just really fueled his love for film. We had a great conversation, guys. We got into tons of fun stuff. We talked about in a very underrated 90s gem, It's Pat, one of the most underrated comedies of the 90s. So we had a great conversation on that movie as well. Just tons of fun stuff that we got into on this episode. And I'm really happy to present to you guys World's Biggest Collectors, episode 45. You guys seem to really enjoy last week's episode with movies with Leo. So I hope you enjoy this episode with Dude Who Loves Movies. And also do me a favor, everybody, and subscribe to the Dude Who Loves Movies YouTube channel. That link is down below, as well as his Instagram account. So give him a follow, give him a subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Let's do it. All right, welcome to World's Biggest Collectors, episode 45. I am joined today by my man Cody over at Dude Who Loves Movies. How you doing, Cody?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
You are the artist formerly known as Lepke Vision Films.
Lepke Vision Films, but yeah.
Lepke Vision Films. Have I been saying it wrong this whole time?
Everyone says it wrong, man.
I got it right at some point, I feel like. Maybe once in a while. Maybe twice. Well, I know you've been watching, supporting the channel for a long time. You know I'm horrible with pronunciations. You
man. Know that by now. And I don't expect people to get it right. It's spelt weird too. So
but Lepke, you are new to YouTube. You're new to Instagram as well. You're not new to YouTube as far as, watching, supporting the content in the chats. You're always in there as Lepke Vision Films, but you just recently started your own YouTube channel. And you are also, in addition to being a big time movie fan, you are a physical media collector as well. So I thought, I'd have you on, since you're new to YouTube, to talk about your collection, talk about movies, and just hang out for a little bit. So yeah, do you want to tell the people about yourself and your channel and what they could expect if they go subscribe over to Dude Who Loves Movies?
Yeah, guys, basically I'm just a dude who loves movies. I like talking about all kinds of movies. A lot of my favorites are 80s and 90s movies. I like comedies, horror. Horror is my favorite, but I love comedies. I love action movies. Stallone is my absolute number one favorite.
That is such a slept-on movie.
It is.
Such a slept-on movie.
I know. I used to watch that a lot when I was a kid. That and like a Cliffhanger is another one it's not as slept on now, but back in the day I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
back in the day I watched it a lot.
Yeah, Cliffhanger is one. You remember I did the Stallone month last year.
Oh, yeah, I was excited for that.
And one of these days I'm going to get back to theme months. I just don't know how to get back into it. But I watched Cliffhanger for the first time. Loved that movie. Mm-hmm. And I revisited Daylight for the first time in like maybe 15 years. Like I had not seen that movie in a long time. It held up so well. Like I was so shocked at how well it held up. It's action packed. Stallone's great. Everybody in it's great, and has a surprising amount of emotion in it. Like it has a real emotional punch to it. Mm-hmm. Real inspiration. I love that movie though. I think it holds up wonderfully, and nobody talks about it. Nobody ever talks about Daylight.
That, and I freaking love the poster, like the original poster. I know, on the
fantastic.
I think it's a different cover on like the Blu-ray release, and it's not that great, but the poster is awesome.
But I interrupted you. Continue from wherever you left off. I can't remember.
I
interrupt a lot. Just ask my wife.
It's all good, man. So anyways, I wanted to talk about like old, or I'll talk about new stuff. I'll do unboxings. I'm very new, so I only have a couple videos out now.
Yeah.
And
he's fresh, guys. He's fresh. And you're up to how many subscribers do you got right now?
Last I checked was 108.
Damn, that's good, man. Yeah, that's good for only being up for about a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks,
10 days.
Yeah, you're killing it, man. But everybody, go subscribe to Lepke. You're on Instagram as well. We were trying to get you on Instagram for the longest time.
I know.
Finally joined.
Yeah,
finally joined.
Well, a few years ago, I stopped. Like I had Facebooks, and I just kind of like it was nothing but negative stuff. You just scroll. It's just this and that, and I was like, man, I got to get off of this. So I did like a 30-day cleanse or whatever to get off
Yeah.
of it, and I just never went back.
Yeah.
So like I was like, wow, I don't miss this at all. So I just kind of went on, enjoyed life, and then I was like, man, I should probably start an Instagram if I want to start a YouTube channel. And Instagram does help a lot with YouTube, or to get
Yeah.
traffic here.
Yeah, I've always been pretty big on Instagram. For the most part, for me, it's always been very positive over there. Now, Twitter's something I'm trying to get the hang of. You get on Twitter and it's like a cesspool of negativity.
Hmm.
That's just what Twitter is. So I get on there, I post what I need to, and then I just kind of jump
Get up,
off.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, that's really cool. Just started a YouTube channel, but yeah, so go subscribe. I got his links in the description below. But what I wanted to talk about with you today, Lepke, is just your your love for movies, and I know you're a big physical media collector as well.
Mhm.
Where did that come from? Where did that all start for you as far as collecting movies, collecting physical media? How long have you been in this, and where does it all come from? Does it root all the way back to your childhood?
Mhm.
Um, Tell me the story.
Yeah, so ever since I was a kid, I've gotten movies for like Christmas and birthdays, and whenever I could, I'd buy movies, or I'd get movies as presents and stuff like that. But I never thought it was collecting. It was just me wanting the movies I like, so I could watch them over and over again. Because I had like a
Yep.
VCR in my room, so I just watch movies, play with my wrestling figures, and just watch the movies over and over again. And like I said, I didn't realize I was a collector, and even when I got older, that's all I asked for Christmas and birthdays. I would give my mom or my grandma a list of movies I wanted. They're like, don't you want like anything else? And I was like, no, I want this, And then once I,
Hell
and then,
no.
yeah, and then once I got a job, I went, I would go every Tuesday to Best Buy, and like back in the day at Best Buy on Tuesdays, they'd have like big tables full of just the new releases and all the stuff. So I'd buy whatever was new, and then I'd watch it and be like, man, this is awesome. But I never really thought of it as collecting. I thought of it as just buying the stuff I wanted, and
Yeah.
that's what I wanted. So I'd buy it, and
I'm the same way.
that's
I
what I went
always
for.
tell people it's like back when we were growing up, like in the 90s and stuff, like, yeah, everybody just had VHS tapes and DVDs and
Mhm.
stuff. We never thought of it as collecting. It's just what we had to have if we wanted to watch the movies we liked, because there
Yeah.
was no streaming services. And
Mhm.
like you could watch movies off of TV, but you were never guaranteed to have those movies on TV. You had to wait till they would come on and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, but
And,
yeah,
and I'm so glad that I own this stuff, because some stuff you can't see or it's edited out. Like I have like The Simpsons season 2 or whatever, and my favorite episode is the Michael Jackson episode, and that you can't find that anywhere. It was
they did
taken
take
out.
that off, didn't they?
Yeah, so I was like, well, I have it now. And then if you
They
go on
took that off
eBay,
back when that documentary came out on
yeah,
HBO, didn't they?
they did. Yeah,
Was The Simpsons on HBO or is that on Disney Plus? I
it's
can't
on
remember
Disney
what.
Plus.
Is
It's
it on Disney
Fox.
Plus?
Yeah, it's owned by
Okay.
Fox. But yeah,
Okay.
they just took it off.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a real danger these days with people going in and editing stuff and pulling stuff from streaming services. You're seeing HBO is probably the biggest culprit of it all. They'll just yank like TV shows that were HBO exclusives and like new
Hmm.
movies. Like there's a few movies that they've just taken off of there completely. And yeah, they're not great movies. I'd probably never want to rewatch them. Maybe somebody loved it, and
Hmm.
they're not ever going to get. Maybe somebody their favorite movie of all time was American Pickle, starring Seth Rogen.
Yeah, that's
They're
no
never going
longer
to get to
there.
see it
Yeah,
again, and
yeah.
that sucks. It sucks for the creators, and it sucks for fans as well.
Hmm.
And it just opens the door. It's okay when the movies aren't that good, but what
Hmm.
happens when they start removing stuff that is good,
Uh,
and that people do care about?
yeah.
So
Same with like Splash. Like they edited out her butt or whatever. I think I heard them say.
yeah, Disney Plus. But I will say I watched it last year, and her butt is still on Tubi. So if you
Oh,
want to
okay.
watch Splash, everybody go watch it on Tubi if it's still on there. It was on there March of last year.
Tubi's
So
low key a great place to watch movies. It just sucks
oh, it
that
is.
I hate that. Like I'll be watching a movie and they'll have a commercial at the most random time. It's like, dang,
Yeah.
they could have planned
They're
this out a lot
horrible with
better. Yeah.
commercial placement, and they will literally pop up like every 5 minutes, I feel
Uh-huh.
like. You'll go like 30 minutes, no commercial, and then there'll be like 5 in the next 20 minutes or something.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's really
Yeah,
weird and random. But yeah, Tubi's got a lot of like the Arrow video titles, Vinegar Syndrome stuff. So if you guys want to know like what some of these movies are like before you buy them physically, like go to Tubi because they got a lot of that stuff.
yeah.
Um, but you started back when you was, a kid collecting, I imagine, VHS tapes. Did you
Mhm.
ever do the recordings? Did you ever
all,
record stuff off of TV?
all the
Uh,
time, man. I would record everything off TV, like especially when I got a VCR in my room. I'm pointing that way. I don't know what, but yeah, when I got a VCR in my room, I would just record everything, like anything that had to do with wrestling, anything that had to do with like MTV. I had Celebrity Deathmatch on VHS. I had all kinds of things, man.
yeah.
I had Simpsons episodes, music videos, TRL. You just all kinds of stuff.
I wish I still had all the tapes that my grandma had. I don't even know what she did with them back in the day. But every single Tuesday, they would go to Blockbuster and get all the new release movies, and they would record them
Hmm.
to the 6-hour tapes. And
Yeah,
so when I went over to my grandma's house, she had like every movie on
dang.
VHS tapes in this like little pull-out cabinet thing,
Uh huh.
and that's where I watched a ton of movies for the first time.
Yeah, that's
Now
what
it
my
always sucked if you wanted to watch the movie in the middle or at the end because you had to
yeah, you have
fast
to
forward
fast
to the other
forward.
ones. But
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. My uncle used to do that. He used to have like the two recorders. Then you just put one, you put them in and press record. I would rent wrestling pay-per-views from like Hollywood Video, and I would have
yeah,
him record them for me. But yeah, that's how like I remember on one VHS he had like Terminator 2, City Slickers, and Warlock. And I remember I'd always want it's Terminator 2 was always in the middle, so I had to fast. I mean, I liked all three movies, but I always wanted to watch Terminator 2, so I'd fast forward and try
yeah,
to find it. But it's cool
yeah.
to see like those. He actually recorded that off of HBO, and it was cool because they had like some kind of special going on where you could buy like a legit Terminator 2 leather jacket, like crew leather jacket. And I was like, wow, I want that when I grow up. Now
Do you have it?
no,
You don't
no,
have it yet?
I know I
You
haven't
got to
even
get
looked at
on
it.
that, man.
I haven't looked it up or even thought about it until just now. But watch my next video. My guys, look at my new jacket.
There
That
you
was
go.
$10,000. I
You
had to
got
sell
to
the
now.
house.
You're on YouTube. You got to keep up with those appearances.
I do
Uh,
got a pretty sweet shirt though here. I don't know if have you ever seen that
you
shirt before?
do. That's the Married with Media shirt that my wife designed. Thank you so much, man.
Dude, it's super
Um,
comfortable. I love Michelle's design.
yeah, she did good. She did
Yeah.
good. Yeah, man. I appreciate for sure all of your support. You're always around. You're always supporting everybody in the community, and it's great stuff. I appreciate this mostly though. Right here, the Oscar that you gave me. So if you guys don't know, this is the man that sent me this Oscar right here.
Ba-
Basically an Oscar winner for helping uh, American Psycho, I almost said Reservoir Dogs, but American Psycho win the Clio Award in the same building, the venue that they do the Oscars. So I basically won an Oscar.
yeah, you're
And,
basically a big deal here.
I have some naysayers, some detractors that say I'm not really an Oscar winner. But Lapke gave me the actual official Oscar winner, so everybody can suck it because I am an Oscar winner now officially.
Cracks
So
me
thank you
up.
so much, man. Thank you.
Are,
So let's
wait, oh,
see.
I'm sorry.
Well,
I
what
have a
were you
question.
gonna say?
No, no, are there actually people in your comment sections that are like, you're not really an Oscar winner? You're like, well, no
I
shit.
th- I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. I think
Okay.
most of the people just ignore my shenanigans most of the time.
Oh
They're just
man.
kind of like, "That's weird," and they just look over it. When does
Well,
Twister come out in 4K?
yeah,
Uh,
I'm here for it.
um, but let's see. So yeah, you've been a collector. So you're big into collecting the new Blu-rays and the 4K stuff. I don't think I've ever seen your collection though. How many do you have in your collection? Would you say how big is your collection? Are you a huge? Are you collecting like Tony over at Basement Blues and you're just hiding all that behind the curtain,
I
or you're a
I
modest collector?
No, I'm not a modest collector. I have a lot of stuff, and I still have all my DVDs
Yeah,
from before. So everything, I still have all my VHSs, but my VHSs are packed up somewhere. Most of them, I have some out, like some good ones that I have out. But yeah, I don't. Maybe I have half of yours just because of room.
I don't even know my full total. I was going to count it when I did my collection reorganization, but
Yeah, I have a lot, and
counting's hard.
Yeah, yeah, and I need to reorganize everything because
Yeah.
lately it's just been everything put on a shelf or kind of in stacks.
I started reorganizing last week, and I just got to a point where I was like, "All right, I'm done for now." And it's been a week, and I haven't returned to it. Everything's still on the floor
Uh-huh.
exactly where I left it, and I'll get back to it. I'll get back to it at some point.
Yeah, I need to buy another shelf.
Yeah. So you know were collecting since you were a kid. Was there a time that VHS? When did you start collecting for yourself? I guess because you got a lot of gifts and stuff as we do when we're kids. We don't
Mhm,
have our own money.
mhm.
When did you get to where you were collecting stuff for yourself? You were going out to the stores and shopping on Tuesday for the new releases.
Probably when I got my first job, so like 15, 16. And
Yeah.
then I would go on Tuesdays and go to Best Buy and just, dude, it would be so much fun. I just go there before work and be like, wow, look at all this cool stuff. And I'd see movies I've never even heard of before. And I'd be like, oh, I'm grabbing this. And I ended up loving movies. Like I got a movie called Dream Team with Michael Keaton and Christopher Lloyd from like
Oh
the
man, I've never
80s.
even heard of that.
Yeah,
Michael
it was
Keaton and
great.
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, they're like
My
they're
goodness.
yeah, it's a funny movie. They're like kind of like I can't even remember because I haven't seen it in a while. I think they're like kind of like handicap and they get or they're the handicap or they're from like a mental institute and they go out to a baseball game and get lost and chaos ensues and
You need
stuff
to
like that.
start showing that. Do you still have all these movies?
I do, yeah.
You need to start
I have
showing
them all.
these off, man. You need to start showing off some like obscure pickups on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, dude, I have
Uh,
all kinds of stuff, and I was one of those collectors. Well, again, I didn't think I was a collector, but I was one of those people who, like, once I went to DVD, I was like, all right, DVD's the last. I'm not. Then like, Blu-ray comes out. I was
I'm
like, no,
done.
no way, I'm getting Blu-ray. And then all of a sudden, I'm into Blu-ray, and I just get it. I just started getting into 4K when I started watching YouTube. So when I discovered your channel and Garrett's channel and Pizza's
Yeah.
channel, and that was probably about 2 years ago.
Were
Like,
you the same with Blu-ray? Were you resistant to that as well?
oh yeah, yeah, I did not want to get Blu-ray. I was like, nope, I'm not upgrading, not upgrading. And then
It took me a long time to get on the Blu-ray train because I already
yeah.
had like, I don't know, 500, 600 DVDs or something at that point.
Mhm.
I'm like, I'm not upgrading all these. And at the time I wasn't, I was more into video games than I was movies for a while, probably like throughout my entire 20s.
Mhm.
So I wasn't buying anything other than just, mostly comedies, like just stuff I'd see in Walmart that I would want in my collection. I would get comedies and horror movies,
Mhm.
stuff like that.
Yeah, I didn't start doing all these. Like, I didn't know what a boutique label was until I started watching YouTube, and then I was like, "Oh, okay." And I went back and I was like, "Wow, what is this movie? What is this movie?" Even though, like,
Such a
I
rabbit hole.
well, and I've been a big horror fan my whole life, but I didn't know anything about horror until getting on watching YouTube and watching that documentary, I forgot what the documentary is called with all like the
In
very
Search
first
of
one,
Darkness?
In Search of Darkness. Yeah, like I was like chopping mall. What is that? And I looked at that's one of my
That's a
favorite
great. I
movies.
haven't seen the two sequels, like the third one or the second one and the third one, but that first one was 4 hours. And that's the only documentary that was that long I remember watching. That
It's
just
good.
flew by. I was like,
Se-
man, it was so
yeah,
interesting.
the second one's good, but it's not as good. And then the
Yeah.
third one's coming. It's on its
I
way
just love
this
the way
month or
they
next month.
did it because it's like they took you through every
Every
year, like chronological
mhm,
order, and they just had commentary on every year. And I'm so like obsessed with like movies by release date and when they came out.
mhm,
That I just love that style. But
yeah.
I'm with you, man. It's like I'll tell people all the time. It's like I thought I was a big horror fan until I got on YouTube and started
I
watching
know.
all these other people that are talking about all these movies that I've never heard of in my life. Like
I
I
know.
grew up watching the Child's Play movies, of course, which I know you're a huge fan of Child's Play
Yeah.
franchise. Halloween, Friday the 13th,
Mhm,
everything that was in my video store. Like I remember renting out the whole horror section at some point when I was younger. Silent Night, Deadly Night. I remember the Howling
mhm,
series. I remember renting out,
yeah.
and then just like weird, obscure ones like Prom Night 2, Hello Mary Lou, Prom Night 2. I've never
Yeah.
seen the first Prom Night. I've only seen the second
No,
one because that's the one that the video store had.
the video store had,
Um,
yeah.
and yeah, just other weird movies that you wouldn't think to talk about, but none of those other ones like Choppy Mall. I never knew that existed either. So
No.
there's a
Yeah,
there's a lot of them.
and I watched it and I was like, "Man, this is awesome. This is a fun time."
Yeah, yeah, that is a good movie.
Yeah.
So are you big into collecting the boutique labels and stuff now?
I am now, yeah. Yeah. I buy what I want. I don't buy everything. Just
Yeah,
but I do want a lot. So might as well buy
yeah.
everything. I haven't been
Yeah.
upgrading a lot with the Scream Factory 4Ks because, like, just like I said, when I got into boutiques, I went back and got all the like the Scream Factory ones that I missed or wanted. So now that they're re-coming out, I'm just like, do I really need that one? If it's a movie I absolutely love, I'll get it just so I can get that slip because I missed out on a lot of those slips.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get to where I was collecting for all that stuff till about 2017 and I
Mhm.
found Misery and Silent Night Deadly Night at Walmart's. They had Screen Factories with slipcovers at Walmart's.
Oh my dang.
Both for $10. And I was like, this artwork's awesome. And I bought them.
Yeah.
And then that's when I learned about Screen
Mhm.
Factory. And I was
Well,
like, now I got to get more.
well, it's funny because back in the day, like when it first came out, I got the Halloween box set. That was Scream Factory, but I had no idea what Scream Factory was. I was like, oh wow, this is a really cool box set. And then I
Yeah.
got when they released Child's Play, like the first one, I got that, and that was Scream Factory, but I didn't really pay attention to stuff like that until I started really getting into the boutique labels.
Yeah. So now that you've been collecting DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, how important is it to you to have your favorite movies in the best possible format? Like, are you okay with some of your movies just having DVD releases as long as you own them? Or are there some that you would like to see make that jump to Blu-ray?
I would love everything to go to Blu-ray, and I would upgrade them all.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
kind of your state. You
Mhm.
don't need everything to go to 4K, but Blu-ray
No.
would definitely be a
Yeah.
good stopping point.
Yeah, like don't tell mom the babysitters that it doesn't need a 4K, but I absolutely want it on 4K. Like I'll buy it if
Yeah.
it's on 4K. Like a
I
lot of
mean, that's a
comedy.
home run for Vinegar
Yeah, I
Syndrome.
know.
Like, if they did that, they gotta be
Mhm.
trying to figure that out. There's no way they're not.
Yeah, and I keep my VHS or not my VHS. I keep my DVDs because I've noticed that some of my old DVDs, their special features are way better than some of the 4Ks coming out. It's like, man, I have like Troy with 3 discs of special features, and then later on it's only one disc, and
It's
and
almost like they rip them away. Like,
mhm.
they keep they just keep taking, like,
Taking
features
stuff
away
away.
as they
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I'm a big special features guy, especially because I love to see how movies are made. So watching that
Yeah.
stuff and watching like the old
Well, you
promotional stuff.
yourself are a filmmaker, right?
Yes, I am. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to watch. Like I like to watch movies and be like, okay, if I was gonna make this, how would I do it? And then I'd watch the special features and be like, oh, so that's how they did it in
Yeah.
Streets of Fire. I would have done it this way, but oh, okay, that's cool. They had money. I did not. Things of that
Yeah,
nature.
that's interesting hearing that from, your perspective because I was never a special features person. I
Mhm.
never cared to watch how um, the meal was made or how or whatever was made because I just wanted to live in the fantasy of it all.
Yeah.
So I would never watch. There was some movies that I would spend some time with the special features on, but like when DVDs came out, I don't know if I ever watched any of the, I may have watched some of the like deleted scenes or bloopers or something like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
But I don't remember watching too many makings of. So like with all these boutique labels coming out and stuff, and now that I'm reviewing more things and
Mhm.
I feel the need to watch that stuff, I'm just getting more into it now
Mhm.
than I ever have. And now I love watching special features.
Yeah, especially documentaries about making
Yeah.
movies. Like, man, have you ever seen it's a it's called I can't even remember what it's called now, but it's from it's Stallone. They follow him making the first Expendables. They show him writing it, directing it, and editing it,
Yeah.
and having it
No, I've
released.
not seen that.
Dude, it is my favorite of all time.
What's that on? Was that on the Expendables
It was on the
Blu-ray
yes, it was on the Expendables extended cut Blu-ray
extended
or
cut? I
or
think
director's
somebody
cut.
did you send that to
I
me?
may have sent that to you just because of the documentary, actually.
I think you did. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
it's
I
called
was like, somebody
Inferno.
sent me
Yes,
a different
yes,
version of Expendables.
yes. It's called Inferno. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I got so excited when you did Stallone month, so I was like, oh, dude, he's gotta watch this.
Yeah, you see that picture right above my head, right? You sent that to me also.
Yeah, I did.
The Rocky and Rambo. I knew I had to get that a prominent spot. That's awesome. Are you
Yeah.
so you said you're a big Rocky fan. Are you looking forward to Creed 3? Are
Yes, I
you a
am.
fan of the Creed
I
movies?
am. I am a fan of the Creed movies. I like them a lot. You?
Okay.
You are right.
I am. I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of the Creed
Uh,
movies. I love every Rocky movie. There's
so
not
do
one
I.
I don't love. Not
So
even
do
the
I.
fifth one. I like the fifth one too.
So do I. I like the fifth one. I think it's a fun time.
Yeah, what's wrong with Rocky 5? What's the deal with that? Are you going to pick up the 4Ks?
I'm gonna pick up the steelbooks.
The steel books. You're
Yeah,
going all in.
I'm going all in
It's
for the
all or
steel books.
nothing.
I wish that it
Is
was
it bad
getting
of me to that I'm contemplating not picking those up? Does that
a
make
lot.
me less of a Rocky fan?
No, because there are a lot of people who don't want to pick those steel books up. But
Yeah, I've got this question. I don't know if I would assume that the Rocky 4 Steelbook does have the Rocky versus Drago cut
it
and the
does.
documentary, but a lot of people
Oh,
are
the
questioning that
documentary, the
because
documentary, or the
there's supposed to be a documentary and the two cuts
oh,
on
okay,
Rocky 4. But
okay.
that's in the Ultimate Knockout collection. They actually put that on there. On the
Oh,
list of
okay.
specs and special features that's on there.
For
But when you
just
look on
for
Best
the
Buy's
collection.
website for Rocky 4, the Steelbook, it only says Rocky 4.
Okay,
And I
that
think it
changed.
might say Rocky versus Drago cut on there as well.
Yeah, I think
Um,
the Drago
but I
cut
was
is
like,
on
why would
there.
they not put all that stuff in there? Like if they're doing it on the Ultimate Knockout collection, like that would just be weird.
Because it's someone like me who's a huge Rocky fan who's going to buy both of them so I can have. Because sometimes
Yeah,
if there's two different releases and they're both really cool and I don't want to buy both of them, I'll look at the special features and be like, okay, this has better special features or this has
yeah.
more. And usually a documentary will win me over.
Where are you going with the upcoming Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4K? Do you plan on getting that? Any of those editions?
I do. I'm gonna get the American version.
You're gonna get
Oh,
the Dark Sky one?
Dark Sky one, yeah.
I'm
That
really starting to think that the Dark Sky and the Second Sight transfers are the same.
oh, I have a feeling they're just working together and people are gonna buy both.
Yeah, I think that
Different
Second
packaging.
Sight did the restoration, and I think that
Hmm.
they gave it to Dark Sky to put out, whereas and Dark Sky gave them Texas Chainsaw Massacre to put out over there.
Hmm.
It was kind of an exchange, is what I
Yeah.
was thinking, but they didn't really promote that.
Hmm.
Um, so I don't know, but I know that they both had the same documentary, so that would lead me to believe that they're the same transfer. But
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, and when I collect movies, I try not to buy overseas stuff. I'm like, okay, I want to buy it when it comes here. That's just a little thing in my mind that I do, so I'm not
Yeah.
spending too much, or else I'd go crazy on releases
Yeah,
overseas.
I
Like,
actually because I pre-ordered it from Diabolic, so I
uh,
got it for 50 something dollars,
uh,
which isn't bad. I would have paid like $15 to import it if I would have got it from Second Sight's website,
mhm.
um, but I'm not going to get those 3 exclusive art cards.
Yeah,
Ooh, I'll be
yeah, but
okay.
there are some things that I have, but like imprint, I bought imprint because one of my favorite movies is Breakdown, and they had a really sweet edition of
And
Breakdown,
then
so I got
Paramount
that.
screwed you, and they released that Paramount Presents, didn't they?
And guess who bought it?
You
Me.
did. I bought that too. I need to watch that one. I need to watch more Kurt Russell films.
Yeah, it's my
One
favorite Kurt Russell movie.
one movie, is it that good?
Oh, have you never
Damn.
seen Breakdown?
I've never seen it.
Dude,
No.
that was
You know
almost
how long have you been watching my channel? You know I haven't seen shit. Come on
so
now.
that was almost a Breakdown poster I put in there. But I was
Oh
like, no,
man, it's that good to be
I'll
Kurt
do
Russell's
daily.
best for you.
It's I know
That beats out the thing.
there are gonna be people watching this being like, okay, this guy sucks. I'm not subscribing to his channel. But
No, from what I've heard, there's a lot of fans of Breakdown.
yeah, it's a movie I watched all the time as a kid. Dude,
Escape from New York. It's
I got
better than
this.
that.
This
My
this is
goodness.
made out of VHS. It's like a little notepad I use.
Oh my god, that's
As you can tell, I
awesome.
use a lot of it. Oh, some
Damn.
notes. Yeah.
Was there anything different about the Paramount Presents Breakdown than the imprint one, or you just
Not
wanted it because you love Breakdown?
I just wanted it because I love Breakdown. And when it comes out on 4K, I'm gonna buy 4K. So it's like,
Yeah, Paramount will release it on 4K probably, but it won't be a
yes,
part of
soon.
the Paramount Presents line.
I
It'll
know.
be its own 4K because they like to
I
do that
know.
wacky shit. Gets on my
I
nerves.
know. I know.
But yeah, Breakdown. You know what? One of my favorite Kurt Russell movies is. I watched for the first time last year. You heard me talk about it. Unlawful Entry.
Yes, dude.
It's a
That's a great.
badass movie.
I saw that for the first time, I think last year, and I was like, I
Yeah,
think it was before Ray Liotta died. I found the DVD, and I was like, dude, this is awesome because I like
I,
those kind of thrillers.
yeah, that's one somebody tipped me off about, and I looked it up, and it was on Tubi. So I watched it on
Uh,
Tubi, and I was like, this needs a Blu-ray like immediately because it doesn't have a Blu-ray. It's ridiculous.
I
I don't
know.
know who owns that one either.
I don't remember either. I think it's is it Columbia or Spyglass? I can't remember. It was weird. Like
Might
when I
be.
was a kid, I used to remember the
That could
opening
be a Columbia
logos.
Classics Volume 4
Yeah,
4K. That'd be awesome.
yeah, but yeah, Unlawful Entry is a great movie.
Yeah. So we're talking about, how important it is for you to have movies on Blu-ray. Are there any other movies for you that you're just waiting patiently to come to Blu-ray? Do you have a
Ernest Scared.
list? Do you have a running
Oh,
list?
I have a list. Yeah, there's like Ernest Scared Stupid,
Because
all
I
the
know we've
Ernest
talked
movies.
about this
Yeah,
before, but
yeah. There's The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. I want a 4K in. Uh,
well, not
and
just 4K, but just Blu-ray. Do you have a list for Blu-ray?
oh, just Blu-ray. Yes.
Just
Like
Blu-ray.
Blank Man. That's one of my favorite movies growing
Hell
up.
yeah, man. Blank
I want
man.
Blank Man.
You know you want
Airheads.
that Suburban Commando in 4K.
Suburban
Or I
Commando.
mean,
Yeah,
and I mean hell with a 4K, but Blu-ray.
Blu-ray. Yeah, Suburban Commando. I'll take a. Dude, there are so many. There's.
What are
I'm
these
glad.
companies doing? Like they're putting out all this shit that we've never heard of, while gems like Suburban Commando and Blank
Suburban.
Man are just sitting there waiting. Like what's going on?
I know. Same with like The Crow, man. The Crow needs a better release.
Oh
It has
my
a Blu-ray,
god.
but it needs a better. But I think that's the
Who owns
Weinsteins.
the Crow?
Weinsteins.
Fuckers.
So like the Weinsteins, they own like a handful of movies still that they're hanging on to just so they can still get money from them, you know.
Yeah.
But everything else was sold to I think Disney. So they have
Yeah.
like that. Like Dogma is hard to find because they still own that. They
Yeah.
low key own other things too, and The Crow is one of them. So that's why you haven't seen a good edition of that.
I'm still sad that I gave my dog. I sold my Dogma DVD because I had that big like Bible edition of it or
Uh,
whatever it was. Did that come? Did you ever have that one? Do you have
I
that?
I had it on VHS.
So it was like I can't remember if it came like in a slip box or something, but the actual like DVD case was like a Bible, but it said Dogma on it.
Yeah,
And I think there was all kinds of like art cards and booklets and stuff inside. It was like
special
a 3 or
features.
4 disc set, and I gave it away because I'm an
That
idiot.
sounds
I also had
awesome.
the Clerks like big 3 disc 10th anniversary box set that came out in 2004. I gave away
Dang,
so much shit like a few years ago. I was like, I'm
dang.
selling all this to half price books, and I'm gonna get $160, and I'm just gonna go digital. And then a year later, I was like, nah, I want Blu-rays again.
Yeah, I don't have I don't have anything digital. I'm just not a digital person, and I don't watch much net. I mean, you know, like if there's a movie that I want to watch that is being put on a streaming site, I'll watch it.
Yeah,
But I would much rather put in a disc. I know it sounds weird, but I like the feel of it, and you know, I like the look.
there's
It's awesome.
there's something about just holding that Blu-ray in your hand. You got Men at Work right here, just holding it in your
Yeah.
hands, taking that disc out, popping it
Hmm.
in. It's nostalgic. I mean, it's something that I don't feel like
Hmm.
people that were born post 2000 really
Hmm.
understand as well.
Hmm.
And going forward, I think it's going to be harder for a lot of people to understand it as we move forward in the streaming age. But I
Hmm.
don't know. It's an lost art that I hope that doesn't get lost forever.
Yeah. Well, even when like the movie stores like Blockbuster and stuff like that, when they switched from DVDs, I mean when they switched from when they switched from VHS to uh Blu-rays or VHS from VHS to DVD, it wasn't the same either.
Yeah,
Like you'd go in and you like VHS had that certain smell, and it was just and it was just like, oh wow, and you could find more of the obscene stuff, obscure stuff. So like I remember like towards the end, I remember me and my friends went to the horror section to see, oh, what's the
and
cool
you walked
stuff.
out of a VHS, video rental store feeling like you had a haul.
Uh-huh.
You had these heavy VHS tapes, and you're gonna go home and
Yeah. And I was like, man,
grind through them.
I'm gonna discover some cool 80s horror. And then what when it was like 2005, you go to the horror section and it's all like stuff that was straight to DVD. It's like like not that the Scream ripoffs that were
Yeah,
ripped off of of those, and it was just like the really ones I did not want to see.
yeah. I always say horror kind of died in the 2000s.
I say
I
that
feel
too.
like I feel like it died. It came back.
Hmm.
It came back. Fortunately, I think it came back in around mid 2010s. I
Hmm.
don't know. What are some of your favorite modern horror movies?
So I'm a
Get
huge like
into.
so my favorite modern horror movie is going to be The Orphan. I don't even know if you'd call that modern, but it's
Yeah,
modern to me. So I love Orphan. That's that movie blew, like my mouth was like when I
that's a
first
good
saw
movie.
it.
Me and my wife just watched that this year
I know.
or
Uh,
last year.
yeah, I was like, dude, this movie's great. I saw it in theaters. I remember me and my friend, we went to go see it back when there was like the midnight showing. We're like, all right, we gotta get here 2 hours early because it's going to be packed. We were the only ones there.
I don't know why I didn't see that movie. That came out like right in the middle of the Saw era,
Mhm.
2009. I guess I just thought, I don't know, there was a bunch of like supernatural horror movies that came out in the 2000s, and then there was
Yeah.
Saw, and every single one of the supernatural horror movies are like super generic. And maybe
Hmm.
I just saw Orphan and thought it
The
was
same
like more of
thing.
the
Yeah.
same. I didn't know exactly what it was.
I mean,
Um,
there's a lot of people who didn't even know what Orphan was until First Kill was coming out
yeah, and then everybody went back to
to
watch it
rewatch
again.
it and like, oh wow, this is good.
Yeah, that was really cool what they did, bringing the same girl back and
Yeah.
everything for the role.
Yeah.
Both of those are good movies.
Orphan First Kill had no right being as good as it was. Like I was
No,
excited for it, but I was expecting people to tear it apart and me like being like, they tried. But I was like, dang, this is fun. I like this.
yeah, because people are like, "What Orphan? Like, why do we need a sequel to that?" It's like, well, what is
Exactly.
Orphan?
Yeah, I know.
Like,
People are like, what is this? And then you hear about she's coming back to play herself. She's 25 now, trying to play herself younger, and it's like that's not gonna work. But it works. You
yeah,
just got to you just gotta separate that stuff. Sometimes some people can't. Some people are like, nope, I can tell that's not her right there.
yeah.
But
For me, I remember seeing. I'm trying to think of the movies that really like turned me back on to horror, like hardcore. I think it was Your Next was one of them.
yeah, that's a good one.
Um, It Follows was one of them. The Conjuring, I liked a lot when I first saw it in the theaters,
Mhm.
and I grew to love it more as I went. I don't know if you're a fan of that movie or not.
So I went to go see The Conjuring, and I had a terrible theater experience to where I
Yeah,
never watched it again or never watched anything else.
yeah. Have you seen The Conjuring 2 then? You haven't seen
I,
The Conjuring 2?
I haven't seen any of the other ones.
I would recommend going back and watching the first Conjuring. It does. You start to when I first saw it in theaters. I don't know. I just thought it was another like generic horror movie along the same lines as all the other stuff all
Hmm.
the other crap that came out in the 2000s. But when I watched it again, like probably like 5 or 6 years ago, I was like, damn, this really is kind of a horror masterpiece. Like just what James Wan does with tension building and atmosphere, and it really is a throwback to like the old school like Amityville horror and Exorcist and all that stuff. And the
Yeah.
second one ups the ante, adds in more
The
like ghosts and villains and stuff
uh,
to it. So it gets a little ridiculous, but it's
yeah,
also a great horror movie as well.
yeah. And I get that confused with Insidious. Like they're the same movie to me,
Yeah.
even though I know they're not. But I just didn't pay attention to those movies that well. And like I said, I had a really bad
Insidious, the
experience.
first one is pretty good to me. I like the first Insidious. The sequels, I'm not a big fan of. Not even the
Yeah,
third one, which is directed by Lee Winnell, and I love him as a director with
yeah.
Upgrade and Invisible Man. Um,
Hmm.
but
Uh,
the Conjuring 1 and 2, those are great. Everything else in the
yeah.
Conjureverse, nah,
And I
no.
went and saw Annabelle because I love doll movies and I did not like Annabelle, so I never watched
It's
anything after
those
that.
aren't like real doll movies. Like
I
it's
know.
Annabelle just sits there, She's just like a presence, and like there's ghostly things that happen around her.
Yeah.
Um, so it's
Yeah.
not that's not like a real doll movie to me. Megan was a true
Hmm.
like throwback to, old school doll movies and stuff like that, I
Yeah.
feel like.
And I had a lot of fun with Megan. I liked that a lot. I think it's because I kind of went in being like, I don't want to watch this now because it's a PG-13, and so my expectation levels got a little lower. And then I was
Yeah.
like, this is fun. I liked it.
You know, a movie I just watched that actually surprised the hell out of me. I thought I had it over here, but I'm not seeing it. But I don't know, maybe it's in this stack. I've already reviewed it by the time I put this up, so I'm good. But Pray for the Devil. I watched this today, and this came out like last October, and it looks super shitty and super generic.
Is it
Um,
good?
but it's actually, I'm not gonna say it's good. I don't want to get your
Okay.
expectations up that high, but it's decent. And I enjoyed this one. I like the story. It was an interesting story about a girl that was trying to get into like exorcism school, like a nun, and they
Uh,
wouldn't let her because she was a girl and only men priests are allowed to be exorcists. So she's trying to get into this exorcism school because she feels this calling. She's had all this like past trauma from her childhood. Um, and it's a good movie. I like the set. I just like that premise. And the
okay.
actress in it was pretty good. It's not great. It definitely has all those generic like supernatural horror hallmarks to it.
Hmm.
But I liked it better than like every Conjure verse movie except for the first two Conjuring movies. I
Okay.
thought it
See,
shit all over the Nun and Conjuring 3 and everything else.
Yeah, I saw that trailer and I kind of just like checked out. I was like, I'm not interested in this. And
Yeah,
I'm
I'm not
someone
saying
who
it's great. I don't want to get anybody's expectations high, but I like the premise enough and I like the actress enough to follow along with it the whole
Mhm.
time.
I'm someone who like I'll give any movie a chance. It's just getting me to watch it. Like I saw the movie Woman King. I didn't really like. I was like, oh, that looks pretty good. But then again, it was PG-13. I was like, oh, this would be
Don't
better if it was
mention the
rated
Woman
R.
King, everybody. Every time I talk about Woman King coming out on 4K, everybody's like, it's not real. It's not
Oh my god.
historically accurate.
So, anyways, I saw Woman King and I
I'm
freaking
like,
loved it.
Braveheart's not historically
I
accurate,
know.
right?
Yeah,
Um,
I think
I don't
someone
get that.
said that to me. I think I wrote in the comments, "Oh, I really like Woman King," and someone's like, "You know that blah blah blah." I was like, "I didn't even know it was based on a true story to begin with, so I don't know." Like I just thought it
I
was a
don't
cool
get
action
into all
movie.
that
Yeah,
crap. So,
I,
but I'm sure I'll get a comment down below that talks about the Woman King and how
I,
it's not based in actual reality. It sucks.
and I'm still learning about
But I
YouTube,
haven't seen
so
it. I haven't seen it.
it's good. I
But
liked it.
so you did see it and you enjoyed it.
Yeah, yeah. My
That's all
friends
that
like,
matters. That's all that
yeah. I
matters.
think it was like we had a choice to see that or Smile, and I was like, I really want to see Smile in theaters.
Man, Smile kind of sucks to me.
Okay, so I haven't seen
Yeah,
it yet because I wanted to see it in theaters because I like the theatrical experience and I
yeah.
feel like it'd be more scary that way.
That I like Pray for the Devil better than I did Smile.
Oh, okay.
And everybody
Yeah,
is talking of maybe you'd be different. I
I don't know.
appreciate some aspects of Smile. But
Smile
it
looked
was
generic
super
to me.
generic. It was
Okay.
it was as generic as it looked, I
Oh
feel
yeah.
like.
Yeah, like
But
it looked
some
like a
people are
Truth or
like,
Dare or something.
yeah, and you know what's funny? I like the movie Truth or Dare.
Yeah, I haven't
like,
seen it. I have
like
not seen that.
because it was so ridiculous and it didn't take itself seriously at all. And it actually has a
Mhm,
pretty cool little ending. It's not
mhm,
like I said, it's not great, but I enjoyed it. Whereas Smile has the same type of premise. It's a
mhm.
little different, but it takes itself super seriously
Okay.
and it's trying to be scary. And to me, it's not. But I've heard people come out of that movie and say it's one of the scariest movies they've seen all year. So
S-
I'm definitely an outlier with that. I feel like I've
Yeah,
heard way more positive
yeah.
things about it than I have negative. So you
See, and
may
that's
enjoy it.
See, that's the thing. If there's a movie I don't want to see, but I keep hearing, "Oh no, no, it's really, really good," then that piques my interest, and I'll go see it. But if there's a movie that comes out that I want to see that everybody absolutely is destroying, I still want to see that movie, and I'll still see that movie. So
Yeah.
I'll see whatever I want to see. I don't, like I don't go on Rotten Tomatoes or anything like that, or listen like say I wanted to see Smile and I watched your review, which I have not watched your review on Smile because I have not watched the movie yet.
Yeah.
So say I watched your thing on Smile and you're like, oh, it's trash, this and that. And actually, this is bad analogous because I just said if I wanted to see it. So I can't even think of what a movie is I wanted to see. I mean, okay, say you saw the movie Beast, and because
Yeah.
I wanted to see Beast when it came out. I was like, oh wow, that's right up my alley. You saw Beast and you're like, it's not for me. I don't like it. I still wanted to see it, so I'm still going to go see it because
Yeah.
that's.
And that's what you should do. I
Mhm,
used to be really into all the Rotten Tomatoes stuff, and I would look up the scores. And if something was low, I would go in with all these like expectations and stuff. Oh, this is probably not going to be good.
mhm,
And sometimes I would be pleasantly surprised. But I feel like that kind of going in with those kind of preconceived notions can kind of harm your experience while you're watching the movie
mhm.
and may negatively impact how you view it yourself. So I
That's
think
how
it's
I
good to not have all these, expectations before going to see a movie.
see, and that's why like I try to see movies before I can hear a lot of things because I don't like things to be overhyped. Like A24, I like A24 horror movies. I didn't start getting into them until X came out. I saw X and because I was the A24, I was like, I don't really want to see this, but my friend's like, oh, let's go see it. I was like, I loved X. And then
Yeah.
I went back and watched other things, but like things are just so overhyped that when I see it, I'm just like, oh, that's just, I wish I would have saw this without knowing anything. Like Barbarian, I love Barbarian because I knew
Yeah.
nothing about it.
Barbarian was the only hyped up horror movie that came out last year that I came out of it and I was like, oh damn, that actually lived up to the
Yeah,
hype. Because
yeah, that
everything else I kind of was down on. Like X I liked, but I just didn't think it was good as
yeah.
everybody else thought it was. Black Phone I liked.
Mhm,
Didn't think it was as good as everybody else. But Barbarian, I was like, holy shit, that
yeah.
movie's awesome. I
But
loved it.
did you go see those movies after the hype train took off?
I
So
did. I
you were
saw
expect
all of them after.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see. And you liked Pearl, right? Did you see Pearl before that hype
Yeah,
train went off?
I loved Pearl. Yeah,
And
I
did
loved
you
Pearl.
see it sooner rather than later though?
We saw that in the theaters, yeah,
Okay,
before
so
any hype on that one
yeah,
came out.
yeah. So maybe if you would have saw X before the hype train went, boop, boop, you would be like, oh,
Probably, I
I like
probably
this a
would have
lot,
thought
you
it
know?
was a fun, throwback slasher movie, and I probably would have, thought it was better than, I did. I do want to rewatch X though after I saw Pearl because I feel like Pearl would make that movie better for me
Hmm.
because it explains a lot about her backstory and stuff, and it would probably make me like her character a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um, but
And
trying to
did I just pretend that I was a train on YouTube?
the train.
I no, I just pretended I was a train. I was like,
Oh, you said "Beep, beep."
like an idiot.
Nobody will notice that. Everybody noticed. So what I want to get into now, kind of shifting gears a little bit, is what made you want to jump into YouTube with all this other crazy people? What made you want to start getting on the social medias and the YouTubes and all that stuff? And what's your plans moving forward?
Yeah. So watching people like you, the Rad Pack, I just you guys are so relatable. And the way that you run your chats, dude, you go through and you talk to everybody in the chat. So it's like hanging
Try
out
to.
with it's like hanging out with somebody. So I thought that was really cool. I was like, man, I know a lot about movies. I love movies. I can do this. And Garrett had his 1,000th subscriber stream about a year ago or so. And he
I
ran it
was
like
on
it,
that, right?
yeah, you were. Yeah, yeah.
I
He ran it
was.
like a pay-per-view. He had like all like run-ins and stuff. Like it was just a cool setup. I was like, man, I want to be part of that. It just looked fun. And where I'm from, I'm from like a film community where you make movies, and here about 10 years ago or whatever, it was very uh looked down on to do YouTube. So it's
Yeah.
like, but that was more of making skits and doing this and that on YouTube, because I didn't, like I said, I didn't even know there was like a community like this, and I don't think people knew that either, or a lot of other people in
I
the
definitely didn't
community.
until about, 5, 6 years ago.
Yeah, so uh after a while of just watching you guys, like, man, you guys look like you're having the time of your life. I was like, "Dude, I want to, like, I can join this. I can easily talk about a movie." Uh, and it just took me a while to get started. And I did that. The Rat Pack asked me to send in a question for their live stream. So I did. And I was like, hey, um, I may want to start a channel. And they were like, do it. I got such positive response from that. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. So I just kind of set something up, because this isn't the setup I want. This isn't the kind of,
Yeah.
you know, but I was like, I got to do it or else I'm not going to do it. The hardest part was actually starting. Now it's easier the more and more you do it. But it's just starting was my first thing.
Yeah.
Or obviously starting was my first thing. But starting was the hardest part.
Yeah, man, you just got to pop that camera on. I mean, I was a nervous wreck whenever I sat down to record like my first video, especially a video where like the camera's on me, I'm
Mhm.
sitting there, and I know I got to deliver like some kind of thoughts on whatever. And I
Mhm.
still get nervous. Like I get nervous doing stuff like this or shooting videos. I'm such a jumbled, nervous wreck sometimes, I feel like, but
Yeah.
I continue to push myself because I like to push myself. I like to better myself, and I like
Mhm.
to I'm constantly pushing myself out of my comfort zone because if I feel like if I don't do that, then I'm just gonna, never do anything, with
Well,
myself. I'll never reach my full potential in anything, like because I know I got something inside me. I
yeah.
just got to try to get it out of me.
And honestly, man, you can't grow unless you do that. You can't grow unless
Yeah,
you throw in change. You can't grow unless you do something that you're not used to or out of your comfort zone. That's the part of growing. And once you do it, you're like, oh, and then you're like, I can do this. And then after that, you grow to the next level and then the next level,
yeah,
as a person and on YouTube or anything in life. That goes for anything in life, man.
yeah, absolutely. So as far as the future of YouTube, do you want to do mostly like movie reviews, stuff like that? Are you gonna show off that collect? Are you gonna do that full collection
I
showcase?
I will when it's ready.
Okay.
I'll show it off when it's ready. Like I said, I gotta organize
I
it and
need
make
a
it look a lot
big
better.
long 2-hour video with the dude who loves movies. You just sitting there showing off every movie in your collection. That's what I need
See, like
right
me, I'm
away.
just like to me, I'm like, nobody wants to see that, but man, people want to see that. It
That's some of the highest viewed videos on my channel.
Yeah,
Is
it's crazy. It's
I
like
think the last time I did the Blu-ray um my entire Blu-ray collection was 2021, and I think it's got like 20,000 views or something like that.
Dang.
But that was a 3 hour long video, and it took me like 6 hours to upload or something like that. It was ridiculous,
Mhm.
and I filmed it over like 3 or 4 nights. It was so exhausting.
Dang.
Um, I don't know how many more of those I'm actually going to make. I may update it at some point, but it's just only going to get harder at this point since I've added so many more Blu-rays to the collection. Um,
Yeah, see, like I, because I'm adding movies all the time. It's like I can't see myself doing it over and over again. But never say never.
there's some people that will update it every year. Like
Yeah.
this is my 2022, 2023. But it's just really some people can just hold a movie up and say, I got this, I got this, I got this.
Hmm.
I can't do it. I don't know what it is. It's like I got to talk about it. If I got it in my hand, oh, I got this movie right here, and then I got to go on and on about. I used to watch this movie all the time when I was a kid, and blah, 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 and this, and
Yes.
then
Yes.
so and so's great in it. It's got great directions and photography. This is so and so's best
Uh
movie,
huh.
and I got, and now I'm like, why am I spending so much time on one
Yeah.
movie? I got 500 other ones to show off.
See,
So it's
yeah,
tough for me.
that's my problem right now with YouTube. I start talking about something, and then all of a sudden my mind goes like for my Megan review. I started going on this long tangent about uh doll movies, and I was talking about every single doll movie under the sun. So when I went to editing, I had to edit all that out. I was like, dang, like why am I going on and on about Pinocchio's Revenge? Like, so I just kept a little sliver of it in there. But yeah, I was
Um,
going on and on about stuff that people wouldn't care about. And I'm like, oh, I remember seeing this with Bob and blah blah blah. I was like, no one cares about what my theater experience
Nobody
with
cares
this.
about Bob.
Yeah.
Nobody
And I'm
cares
not
about
talking about
Bob
Bob's Blu-rays. Talking about I just
unless
made up
it's
a
Bob's
random.
Blu-rays, and we care about Bob's
Yeah, we
Blu-rays.
we care.
If you're
And Bob,
watching Bob, I don't know if you'd be watching.
yeah, we love
Um,
Bob.
let's get into circle back to you as a collector
Mhm.
before we close things out. So what type of collector are you? Are you somebody that has to buy stuff on day one? If it's something that you really want, not saying you buy everything day one, but if it's something you really want in your collection, do you have to own it the day it comes out, or can you wait? Can you wait for that price to drop down, or do you
It-
go out to the stores and get it right away, or order online in
yeah,
most cases today?
if it's something I really want, it's day one pickup
Okay.
for sure. But if it's like, and if it has a slip cover, it's day one pickup because I'm a no slip no dip
Oh,
kind of
you're a
guy.
slipper.
Yeah,
You're a slippy
I'm
kind of
a
guy, huh?
yep, no slip no dip.
Okay. So that brings me to my next question. Steel books or slips? Are you a steel book guy at all?
I am a steelbook guy. I'm a
Okay.
sucker for steelbooks. Yeah.
So you're more steel book than slip. If you go into Best Buy and you see a really nice looking steel book or you see a really nice looking slip cover, you're more likely to get that steel book?
Yep. I'm most likely to get that steelbook. And there are some
Okay.
nice like I remember the Howard the Duck, like that had a really nice slip cover, but I ended up going with
It
the
was a nice
steelbook.
steel book too. I had some FOMO over that steel book. I never
The
got that one.
the only thing I did that to, and this was early on in like I because I was like, oh, I don't need 4K, but it was the Creed 2 steelbook. I picked the
I
slip
got
over the
that one.
steelbook because the slip was really cool.
Yeah.
It had
I
them
did
all
get the
on there.
steel book for Creed too.
Yeah. But now I'm like, dang, I wish I had that steelbook because I have the first one.
It was a nice steel book if I remember. I got it over there somewhere.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it was nice, but I really liked the slip cover.
I still don't have the first Creed on 4K though, because
Oh no.
I wasn't collecting 4K and steelbooks and stuff back
Hmm.
in 2015. I know you said you used to go to Best Buy every week. I never went to Best Buy before like 2016, 2017.
Oh wow.
I think I'd been to Best Buy maybe once in my entire life. And then I got on
Really?
YouTube and everybody started talking about these exclusive steelbooks. I'm like, what's a steelbook? Like I've seen video games do that a couple times,
Uh-huh.
like being GameStop. But I was like, movies do steelbooks too, and everybody's unboxing these Best Buy exclusive steelbooks, and that's when I went to Best Buy and bought my first steelbook, which was Wonder Woman from 2017. I bought that steelbook. That was
Nice.
my first steelbook.
I I don't even think I know what my first steelbook was.
Yeah, and but they did those all the way back in the day, right? Back in DVD and
Yeah, but I didn't honestly. I didn't even pay attention to the steel because I don't have any steelbooks until it got to the 4Ks. Those were my first steelbooks. Even though
yeah,
I noticed steelbooks back in the day, but I was like, I don't need that. But
yeah,
now I need it.
and it's different, back in the day, I didn't have as much disposable income as I do now.
Oh,
Um,
that's another thing. You have more. essentially you get more money when you're older because you make more money than you do when you're 5.
Yeah. If you're doing it right.
If you're doing
If
it
you're doing
right.
it right.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit earlier, but do you get into all the boutique Blu-ray stuff, the Screen Factories, the Arrow videos? How deep are you into that game?
Yeah, I'm pretty deep in that. I collect what I want.
Yeah.
So I mean, when Kino has a sale, I'll buy 20 movies, and it's like
Those Kino sales are
it's like
hard to pass up.
$150. They're the only place that
Yeah,
has a true sale.
they are. It's really hard, and that I think they should be getting ready to do one soon. I would say March is the next
Yeah.
Kino sale, so I'm looking forward to grabbing some titles like damn, what's the movie? Taking a Felon 1, 2, 3.
Hmm.
That came out on 4K. I'll probably get that during the sale.
Yeah.
I like to hold off on a few of the 4Ks. I like getting the 4Ks because they're just releasing with these nice slipcovers now.
Yeah.
Um,
I need to get the Death Wish.
yeah, I got that.
I
It's
love
nice
that
too.
movie.
That is nice.
I
Yeah,
remember
just watched it for the first time.
my grandma rented that for me when I was younger.
I'm trying to dive into this Missing in Action trilogy soon.
I need to get that as well.
Chuck Norris. I have not seen any of those movies. This is the month of Chuck Norris. I'm so hopefully by the time that this comes out, I'll have had my Vinegar Syndrome stuff come in.
Yeah, I'm waiting for mine as well.
But I'm so upset right now because I see everybody getting their sidekicks 4K and they're from beyond, and I'm like, I want to watch that.
I know.
Can I watch that?
I really want my sidekicks. I want to watch that.
But I did start watching Dawn of the Dead on 4K, and that, from what I've seen so far, that looks freaking awesome.
See, and I just
4K is awesome.
I just got that on Blu-ray like a year ago, so I wasn't going to upgrade.
I never bought it on Blu-ray, so I was good there. So many of those Screen Factories that have come out on 4K, I never bought on Blu-ray, so I've kind of been lucking out, except for People Under the Stairs that they just announced. I just bought the Blu-ray for that one.
And I do like People Under the Stairs, so I might get the upgrade just so I can get that slip and that poster, maybe. I don't know.
That's an awesome. That's definitely one to get the poster for. That's a great poster for people.
But you know what I noticed, especially after getting like original, like because I have an original Child's Play 2.
Yeah.
And so when I got the Child's Play bundle, I pulled out the Child's Play 2 one. I was like, this is pretty blur. Like it's not the greatest transfer of the poster. And like the craft. I noticed the craft wasn't a very good transfer either. The poster, that is. The Blu-ray,
I have heard that before.
Yeah. So I was like, dang, man. So I got a lot of these but I don't know if it's just because I'm staring at these originals all day. But yeah, Scream Factory needs to get some better ink over there.
Yeah, the only one I put up was the Child's Play 2 one, which is over there. Let's see. Which boutique would you say you're the deepest into? What's your favorite boutique label?
So the places that do it's probably Scream Factory, even though I don't want to like praise them.
It's tough not to though. They release some cool stuff, right?
They do release some cool stuff, but I feel like Kino
they capitalize on nostalgia a lot more than everybody else. I feel like.
Yeah, and Kino releases the movies that I feel like only I want. Like they release It's Pat and
what?
And like
they did It's Pat?
Yes.
Are you kidding me? When did they do It's Pat?
A couple. I don't know.
Is that on their site now? Did I?
Yes, it's on their site because I bought it for like $7 during one of their
I never knew that they had It's Pat. Oh my God, you're blowing my mind right now. I got to get that.
Yeah.
All the people say, what's
that?
Yeah, It's Pat.
I know. It's just like those random movies where I'm like, nobody's going to buy this but me. Like, I feel like that a lot when it comes to movies. I'm like, nobody wants this movie.
Yeah.
And then I buy it, like It's Pat.
Would people freak out over It's Pat today?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Because I'm sitting there singing the song. I'm like, wait a second. I think about what that movie's about. People would get upset about that movie now, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
They would try to cancel Pat. And Pat's so innocent. I don't know why they would.
I guarantee you that movie would go well.
I love it.
So you might want to buy that before people catch on to it,
In the end, where she's hanging from there's like a concert at the end.
Yeah, a concert, and it reveals
what
they don't show it. Everyone's like, oh
God, I love it.
Yeah, It's Pat is great. Same with like My Boyfriend's Back. That's another movie not a lot of people.
I did buy that one. I did buy that one.
And The
I
Good
remember that
Son.
one when I grew
Yeah.
up. Now, I bought The Good Son, I think off of Amazon before I really started collecting for Kino. I didn't even realize that was a Kino when I first bought it. But I just got it because I love The Good Son. I still haven't watched it either.
Oh yeah, I love The Good Son.
So getting into that, because I just brought up not watching The Good Son, do you try to watch everything that you buy? Do you have a pretty big backlog when it comes to your collection? Do you still have a lot of stuff to get to, or
I have
you pretty good about watching stuff when you get it?
I used to be really good at watching it, and then it just got out of control. You know, like I just kept getting more and more stuff.
Yeah.
To where I have a backlog of stuff I need to watch. But like there'll be times where it's like I'll randomly be like, I'm gonna go watch It's Pat, and I'll go watch It's Pat, or like The Sixth Man. I randomly watched Sixth
Why
Man the other
wouldn't
night.
you? You know, if
I
I
know.
had It's Pat in my collection, that'd be all I would watch. You kidding me?
And that's another thing too. It's like, especially when it comes to newer movies, I have a hard time watching a newer movie when I can go back and watch something I've seen 1,000 times. Like it's weird. It's like, should I watch?
Well, you got to pay
I don't even want
attention
to
to
say
the
movie
newer
because
movie, you know?
yeah, I
And
know.
you don't know if it's going to deliver for you. You know, you don't know if it's going to give you that feel good experience. You know damn good and well you watch It's Pat, you're going to feel good when that movie goes off. You don't know about anything else that comes out today.
I know exactly.
So that's the main thing.
Yeah, and now that I have a YouTube channel, it's my movie watching has gotten a little slower because I'm getting used to editing and doing the movies, and
it gets rough, man. I get
I
all
know.
these people that say, when are you going to watch this movie and that movie and that movie and do a review on this and do a review on that? I'm like, I could probably watch if I just put my channel on hold for like 3 months, I could watch tons of movies. I could get through a good chunk of that collection.
Yeah,
I didn't have to worry about editing and doing this stuff. But the problem is I would
yeah.
come back and nobody would remember me. So I got to keep grinding.
Yeah, man. Like, because I really want you and Michelle to watch Hand that Rocks the Cradle, because it's like one of my favorites. But
I'll get her.
But there's no really reason for. I mean, there's a reason to watch it, but you have stuff you have to review for your channel and this and that. Like,
and you know how she is. She does. I'm telling you, it's such a struggle for me to get her to watch anything like pre 2010, like or 2000. Like, a movie from the 80s. Nope. You don't know how many times I've tried to get her to watch Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Oh, hey, like, she's never seen that?
No, she's never seen it. And you got us that DVD a while ago.
Dude, it's like $3.
Somebody else sent me the Blu-ray
Mm-hmm.
bootleg. Yeah, so I've now got 2 copies of it. And every time she'd be like, what do you want to watch? I feel like I bring up Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. I was like, we could watch that. Oh, didn't you want to do like a comedy month? We could watch Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. I try to slip it in whenever I can. She always just shoots it down. Always.
It was funny. She posted something on Instagram about like the Oscar movies, and I was like, man, I've only seen 3 of those movies that were nominated for the Oscars. And she's
That's pretty good though.
3?
Yeah.
3 out of every single Oscar movie?
Yeah, exactly. I think we've only seen 4 or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then she was like, well, it's probably because you're too busy watching Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. And I was like, oh, burn, but she's right.
Yeah, I mean, those are good movies. Which 3 Oscar movies have you seen?
I saw The Whale.
Yeah, we haven't seen that.
Top Gun Maverick. And
Top Gun Maverick's great. I'm so glad that got nominated too.
Oh, so am I. And I can't even think of what the other one was.
Avatar 2?
No, I didn't see that.
You go see those blue guys?
No, and that's the thing. I was like, well, if I'm going to see it, I'm going to see it in theaters, but I just haven't had time to see it.
Yeah.
And I can't think of what the other one was, actually.
I get it. No love for the blue guys.
I saw the first one in theaters in 3D, but I had a migraine when I saw it. So I was more like, I just want to get out of here. But so there's a lot of movies I need to revisit because I'm sure I'd like them again. Like when I was a kid, I did not like The Matrix, but I have a feeling if I watch it now, I'd like The Matrix. I was like so bored with it for some reason.
Have you not watched The Matrix since?
I haven't seen the first one since. I saw all 3 of them in theaters.
Go back and watch The Matrix. Yeah, you'll love it. That's a good movie. That holds up beautifully as well. Now the sequels, nah, don't have to worry about those. Same
with like this is sacrilegious to say, but The Exorcist. I haven't seen The Exorcist since I was like 8 years old, and I was so bored with it, so I never watched it again. But I want to watch it when it comes out on 4K, and I have a feeling I'm going to love it.
You'll love it. That's my favorite horror movie.
But I've seen Repossessed 100 times with Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen.
I've seen that one.
I know you're a Saturday Night Live fan. Did you ever see the skit with Richard Pryor, where he did The Exorcist?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, you got to look that up on YouTube.
No,
I
yeah,
might send it to you
okay.
in a DM when we get out of here because you got to watch it. You'll laugh your
Yeah,
ass off. I forget who else is in it. I know Richard Pryor's in it, but it's so funny.
yeah. I don't
It's so
think
funny.
I've seen a lot of SNL because like in the
I mean,
'90s,
this is from the 70s. Like
70s,
this is
yeah,
70s SNL because yeah, you got
yeah,
Richard Pryor. It might be the 80s, but I'm pretty sure it's 70s though because it would have been after The Exorcist came out, probably
okay.
to
So
remain
yeah,
topical. I guess I would imagine they put it
yeah,
out then.
yeah. But I definitely
Um,
want to revisit it because I do like The Exorcist 3. I think The Exorcist 3 is cool. But
Exorcist 3 is really good.
I'm a huge Brad Dourif fan.
Yeah, Exorcist 3 is one of the best David Fincher movies I've ever seen. That's not directed by David Fincher.
Yeah,
Um, I always say when I watch that movie, I was like, David Fincher's got a lot of explaining to do. Like he pretty much ripped all of his ideas
yeah,
off of this movie.
yeah. I feel
Um,
I feel like people are gonna watch this and be like, I'm not subscribing to this guy. This guy doesn't like The
doesn't
Exorcist,
like The
Matrix.
Exorcist,
Watching
The
It's Pat.
Matrix. He loves It's Pat. It's Pat's great though. That It's Pat should gain you at least 50 subscribers. Not like in The Exorcist
Uh-huh.
or The Matrix will probably lose you 20,
Yeah.
but It's Pat will put you over the top. Don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah. People are gonna look up the movie and be like, "This is very problematic." So
It is.
we're gonna have
A
to
lot of
cancel.
people say, "What's that?" It's Pat. A boy or a girl, him or her. So
I
anyway,
was I was all for those SNL movies, man.
yeah,
Coneheads.
Coneheads, Night the Roxbury. When did they start getting bad? What was the first SNL movie you watched that you were like, "This sucks"? Or are there any of them?
I like Superstar wasn't my favorite. I
Oh, I
love
love
Ladies
Superstar.
Man, and then they came back and did a MacGruber, and MacGruber cracked my ass up, man. Have you seen MacGruber?
MacGruber. MacGruber was, I think, the problem with that. It was way overhyped for me.
Mm.
I never saw it when it came out,
Oh, I
and
saw
I
it. Yeah.
watched it a year ago with the Mill Creek release, and I thought
Uh,
it was good. There were some funny parts, but I didn't love it.
See, I saw it in theaters when it first
Um,
came out.
but people were hyping that movie up to be one of the funniest movies of all time, so that was another expectations thing, and it
Mm.
just didn't quite deliver for me. But
Yeah. Well, then I'm not
um,
going to tell you it's the best out there because I was about to tell you it's fucking hilarious.
it's one of my
but
favorites.
yeah,
Well, that's the thing. It could absolutely be one of your favorites, and it just didn't live
yeah,
up to. But maybe like I watched it a couple. Some comedies grow on me over time. I
Mhm.
don't know. Like I Love You, Man. I didn't like very much when I saw it in the theaters, and then
That's how
that's one of my favorite comedies of all time now.
I was with Napoleon Dynamite. I saw that in theaters and like everyone was laughing, and I was like, why do I not like? I don't like this. This is dumb, but I like
That
it
was
now.
yeah, yeah. That was a big movie when it came out.
Mhm.
Everybody was talking about it, and everybody was hyping that one up. So I was kind
Yeah.
of with you. I didn't. That one grew on me over time as well.
Mhm.
Do you do a lot of like shopping? Do you do a lot of thrifting and stuff like that? Do you ever go into the Goodwills, the half price books, anything like that?
No, not really. Yeah, I'm kind of weird when it comes to used stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of used stuff because I just picture like a person like like
Blowing their
sitting,
nose on it.
yeah, or sitting on the toilet reading it. Oh, this is nice, and then they hand it to Goodwill, and then here I am. Oh wow, I don't know. That's just how I am. So if I do get something used, I always have to like clean it off, wipe it down, everything like
Yeah.
that.
When I buy used stuff, it goes in the bag. It stays in the bag until I take it out. And when I take it out, I always wipe it down with a disinfected Clorox wipe or something
Yeah,
like that. And every crevice of the Blu-ray. But it
yeah,
is nasty sometimes because you'll wipe inside that Blu-ray and you'll
uh-huh,
look at it and it'll be all like brown and
uh-huh,
yellow and stuff. And I'm like, damn, this person smoked probably. It
uh-huh.
is usually what that means because you'll have
Yeah,
like all the smoke in there.
about a year ago, I actually bought a used copy of this was on eBay of Dr. Giggles because for some I never owned Dr. Giggles even though I loved Dr. Giggles growing up. So I bought it on VHS and I was like, oh, this is nice. And then when they announced Dr. Giggles coming from Scream Factory, I took out the VHS and I don't know why I do this. I always smell the VHS. So it was fine. I took it out and smelt it and I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know what's wrong with this. And I
Never
was like,
smell a VHS.
yeah, I never smelled a used VHS. So I went and I went and smelled all the other VHSs that I have bought recently, and I'm just like, okay, there's something wrong with this one. And it's not moldy or anything, but it's just, like the case is fine. It's just that VHS. It smells
Yeah.
like pee, and I was like, I guarantee you, this was
Somebody pissed on their VHS
Mhm.
tapes.
And here I am smelling this P Giggles.
P Giggles. That sounds like a movie. That sounds like a movie that Vinegar Syndrome would release.
I know.
Or Severin. Where are you at on the blind buying? Do you do a lot of blind buying, or do you only buy the stuff that you know that you're gonna like, or that you love?
So when I was younger, I would only buy the movies I liked because I'd see a
Yeah.
lot of the movies or I'd rent them and I'm like, okay, if I like them, I'll go buy them. But now I do a lot of blind buys, and most of the time it's a hit. I usually like them. There have been some Vinegar Syndromes where I'm just like, oh man, I didn't have to spend that, but I do
It's
a lot of
risky.
blind buys. A
Yeah.
lot of blind buys.
I almost spent $900 or $1,000 on blind buys at the beginning of the year with
Yeah,
Vinegar Syndrome.
that would have been a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm looking at this month's slate because I did a video about it today, and I'm like, some of these look like they might be all right, but there was only 3 of them, and I was like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't do this.
Yeah, like me, I'm only excited about the Bret Hart documentary.
Yeah, I mean, that's not even a mainline Vinegar Syndrome.
I know.
Release. That's one of their partner ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, you would have got a discount, if you had the subscription or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might get that. I wasn't even the biggest Bret Hart fan. I don't know.
Neither was I.
If you were, but that case looks awesome. And I do remember watching that. I'm pretty sure I've seen that documentary before.
Well, I think that they were filming it around the screw job. Like I think like they were backstage filming while
that's
that
what
happened.
I was talking about when I did the video, because I was like, does this have the screw job on it? But I was like, well, it came out in 98. Would that have been too short a time to put that in there? Or did they get that in there? Or?
Yeah, I think they did, but I can't remember. I've never seen it, but I remember watching like a Dark Side of the Ring or something, and they were talking about how he had a camera crew following him around for a documentary, and he punches Vince McMahon in the face and this and that. So I was like, man, I always wanted to see that. Always wanted to see that documentary.
I think I might get it just because it's definitely nostalgic, and it's got that awesome pink case with Bret Hart on it.
Yeah,
it looks cool as hell.
Yeah, in that Glow documentary, I watched that a couple years ago, like when Glow was coming out, the show, because I was a big fan of the show Glow, and like the documentary was good, but I was like, I don't know if I want to. Like I like to own movies I like, and I liked it, but I didn't love it. But I was like, I don't know if I want to pay that price for it,
Yeah, definitely.
But then FOMO will kick in, and I'll get it.
That Clue documentary looked interesting too.
It does, yeah. That looks pretty cool. I've never even heard of that, but it looks great.
So we got into this a little bit, but are you picky when it comes to what you get, or you kind of just upgrade the stuff that you feel like needs to be upgraded? Or you're not 4K only, obviously, but are you pretty much Blu-ray at this point? You're not buying too many DVDs these days, are you?
I only buy DVDs if I want to see something and I can't see it somewhere, and I'll get it. Like I think the last DVD I bought was Dutch, and that was around Thanksgiving because I really wanted to watch that.
Yeah, I got that DVD over there. Somebody sent it to me.
So I bought Dutch, and I was fine with the DVD. I mean, would I like it? If it came out on Blu-ray, I would buy it because I like the movie.
Some people told me Dutch does have a Blu-ray. Maybe it's out of print or something like that. But
yeah, maybe
somebody had commented on the video because I thought it was only on DVD still.
Kind of like
sometimes when people say that, yeah, Airheads is like going for $300 or something right now, some kind of ridiculous price.
I'm so glad I got that on DVD when it first came out, so I have that DVD, because even the DVDs, like $30-$40.
Yeah, I'm hoping that with that Mill Creek deal that just went through, that Airheads may get a re-release or something, like a retro VHS slipcover. That would be freaking awesome.
Yeah. And did you say Mill Creek? I think I was watching your video and you were saying that there's only like movies that have been released.
So I think I figured it out because I actually read the article now. So with the whole Disney Mill Creek deal, they're not releasing any movies that are actually Disney movies. It's only like the Touchstone movies, some of the Fox catalog. I forget all the different studios and stuff that Disney owns now, but it's not like you're not going to see like Disney animated movies and stuff like that come out through Mill Creek.
Yeah.
Star Wars, Marvel, none of that stuff. It's just like the other studios that Disney owns, like Searchlight Pictures and Fox and TriStar maybe, and then Touchstone.
Okay.
Which Touchstone's a big one. Like Touchstone has, Con Air, but the thing is that they're not. I've heard people saying, "Oh, maybe we'll get a 4K of this and that." They're not doing 4K either. They're not doing any new transfers. So the only thing that they're putting out is stuff that's already been out on Blu-ray before. Basically, what they're doing is they're just restocking stuff that Disney doesn't want to restock. It's stuff that's been, out of print for so long.
because I'm someone who's been wanting to join that Disney movie club
Yeah.
because uh I want movies like
There's
Honey, I
so many
Shrunk the
good ones on
Kid.
there.
Yeah, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids or Mighty
Because before I
Ducks.
read it, I was talking about that, last night when I was live streaming. I was like, oh, it'd be cool if they did like Jungle to Jungle or
Mhm.
the Mighty Ducks movies. There's no chance of any of that because it's all Disney stuff.
Oh, you're
Um,
right. Dang,
so
Mighty
all
Ducks
that
is
stuff is not going to happen. It's only the Fox stuff and the Touchstone and
which
uh, all that.
which
Which there's a
Airheads.
lot of good movies in there
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
But
Airheads is 20th Century Fox, so I guess that gives us hope for that. But 20th Century
yeah,
Fox,
that's
there
what I
are a
was thinking.
lot of.
So Airheads already has a Blu-ray. It's already been done. That would be one that I think would be primed to come out through Mill Creek for
Mhm.
sure. So I'd
And
be excited for that.
I think Mrs. Doubtfire needs a good release.
Oh God, yes.
And I think that's
Who
20th
did
Century
that
Fox.
one?
I think it's
Is
20th
that
Century
Fox?
Fox. Yeah.
Damn it. Where is that? I see it. That is
Yeah.
Fox. Damn it.
Like they have a Blu-ray, but it's not like it's
Yeah.
not what I want. I want something because that's one of my favorite comedies from the 90s. That's a
That's my
comfort
favorite
movie.
Robin Williams movie
Yeah,
for sure.
it's a movie where I can watch it no matter where it's at. And I'll sit there, but I'll watch it till commercials, and then it's already over.
Yeah. I need to update like my top movies of all time, but I did my top 50 movies of all time, like on my Instagram page a few years ago. And
Mhm.
that was like I think that was in top 20. So it's in
Yeah,
my top 20 movies of all time. Love it.
I love Mrs. Doubtfire,
Love
man.
it. Love it. So lastly, before, I'll let you out of here, man, before we end the episode, physical media. Why physical media? Why is it important to you? Um, how long do we have with it? Do you see the death of physical media happening anytime in our lifetime?
It seems like it's more popular than it has been in the last 20 years. So hopefully it keeps on going. I don't think there's going to be another format, and I kind of hope there's not another format because I don't want to start another collection. But then if we don't have another format, then that kind of ends there. Once everything's out on 4K, like where does it go from there? We have to have another release, some kind of other special release. So I don't know what they're going to do after that. But I don't think it's going to go anywhere soon. As long as we keep collecting, they're going to keep selling no matter
Yeah.
how bad Best Buy is taking them away and trying to kill it. I think there are a group of people who are still buying it, and if not, because that's why I think a lot of these bigger studios are releasing them now because they're starting to see, oh wow, we just gave that movie, or we gave the rights to Scream Factory, and they made a killing off our movie. We can just
Yeah.
cut the
Paramount's
middleman.
definitely realizing that.
So I think that uh, it's going to be here for a while, and that's if you would have asked me this 5 years ago, I'd be like, oh man, I'm so sad it's going. I got to keep these because physical media
Yeah.
is very important for me. It's something I've always had in my life. It's something that I love. I love. I don't have any physical media with me. I have. What do I have here? That's Katie video, but I have like
Oh, those
trimmers.
are
Like
awesome.
this is like I'm so glad I have this. Like
Yeah.
do I have? I don't even have a VHS player, but I have one of my favorite movies on. Like this is my childhood right here. This was Friday nights eating pizza, watching TV on like a box TV.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
that's
I
what
mean,
it.
humans were very physical creatures. It's like we respond to touch and
Smells good.
stimulation and smell
Hmm.
and it's just there's just something about it, especially for us. And I worry that that's going to get lost with future generations for sure because how long can you go? Once we're all gone, like and kids are growing up, like my kids, they know about physical media through me. But if they didn't have me, they would just have YouTube and Netflix and
Yeah. And
streaming games, and they would
yeah.
know no better than that.
Do they care about it?
No, no, they don't. I mean, my son will come down. He thinks it's cool. I have all these movies and stuff, but it's not
Yeah.
like
He doesn't want his
he's
collection or anything.
no. Unfortunately, neither one of my kids are as into movies
A lot
as
of
I
people aren't.
am or I was. Like I can definitely get them to watch movies and stuff like that, but it's not their go-to. They'd rather play video games and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Which,
Yeah. See,
I get it.
yeah, like when I was a kid, like watching a movie, like that was like life change. It could change your life, and movies have changed my life.
Yeah,
Like I saw Scream, and I was like, wow, somebody wrote this movie, and then that got me thinking. So I could write a movie. So ever since then, I've been writing movies.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
Just
it's
movies do that to you. Movies take you to another place, and you have a shared experience with whoever you're watching it with. So say you go to a theater and you're watching this movie, you're all going through the same thing, as long as people aren't talking or on their phones.
yeah, absolutely, man. Couldn't have said it better myself. Let's see. Do you ever doubt yourself in your collecting habits or anything like that? Do you ever look at your collection and be like, why am I still doing this? All this stuff is on streaming. I can just, you know, it's just a waste of space. Do you ever have those thoughts?
No,
Or you
well,
know exactly why you do it?
I know exactly why I do it. No, I don't ever do it because, like I said, it's like, man, if I want to watch uh, a, a movie, like I know I have it, I can watch it whenever I want. I don't have to wait to see if Hulu's going to get it next month, or oh,
Hmm.
great, Hulu has this only for a month. I can't because what is it? Hand the Rocks the Cradle. That was put on Hulu like in November, and I was like, wow, this is on Hulu actually. And I noticed it's not on there anymore. But I'm just like, well, I'm glad I watched that movie because I've had people
Yeah.
contact me after my first video. They're like, man, do you know where I can find that? I was like, well, I have a cheap DVD or Blu-ray, and I was like, it was on Hulu, and they're like, it's not anymore. So,
Yeah. Well, what would you say to people that say it's just not important to them? Well, I'll watch it once, and then after that, I don't need to watch it again. You
well, if
know,
they're not going to watch it again, then that's
because
on
there's a
them.
lot of people out there that are like that. You know,
Uh-huh.
they'll people that aren't like seriously into movies. They just kind of
Mm-hmm.
casually watch movies and stuff, and they just don't care. It's like I saw it once. I don't need to see it again. Why do you have all this stuff in your collection? You're not going to watch all that again. Do you really care about
Mm-hmm.
watching that movie, X movie, more than once? You know.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
I
that
just go ahead. Go ahead.
I was, and that's good on, that's good for them. They probably have some other hobby that, maybe they
Yeah.
collect, like I don't even know what people collect. They could be collecting birdhouses for all I know,
Yeah.
or little nutcrackers, and there's 1,000 of those. We look at that and be like, what are you gonna do with these nutcrackers? You know?
That's the way I look at it. Like for us, like this is in a lot of ways our life. It's
Uh-huh.
like I love movies. Like only serious movie fans are going to have a collection like this or like a collection like you have.
Mhm.
Um, to care that much about movies to collect on the level that we do. It's like you don't have all this if you don't care about movies. Like
Yeah.
and I'll hear it all the time. It's like, oh, you just want to collect packages of stuff and you don't care about the actual movies. You think I'd be collecting all this shit if I
I
didn't
know.
care about it? I could collect so many other
Yeah.
things or just do something else with my money. Like I do
Hmm.
it because I care about film and film preservation and I'm just in love with like the history of film and stuff. I love going back and watching a movie I've never seen before from the 60s or the 70s and stuff like that. I'm
Hmm.
just really into all that right now.
See, and like I don't know if you're the same way when you blind buy. Like that's kind of the one of the best feelings is when you blind
I
buy a
love the
movie
exploration.
and
Yeah.
you find that movie that you never heard of before, and you did a blind buy and you absolutely love it. You're just like, wow. Like it's like
Feels
a,
great.
yeah, it's a big it's us getting high, like
Yeah.
basically, that's our high. Like I don't drink, I don't do drugs, but I sure the hell movie it up.
Yeah. And some people can't understand that. They're like, oh, I can't believe you bought that. You haven't even seen it. And it's like, I
Hmm.
love that. Like, that's what drives me to continue to collect is the
Yeah.
exploration. Of course, I love it when they release something that I grew up with and I'm nostalgic for, but
Hmm.
I love seeing stuff that I've never seen before being announced for 4K. And I'm like, oh, I get to check this movie out for the first
For
time
the first
in
time,
the
yeah.
best possible format. I was like, that's awesome.
And
So,
you find some hidden gems that way. And sometimes
yeah.
it's like movies that people love that grew up, like say Hand the Rocks to Cradle comes out. I'm excited for that movie, but there's a whole generation have no idea what that movie even is. And then they're
Yeah.
going to watch it and they'll be like, wow, I'm glad I was able to rediscover this. And I think that's why people don't really know this movie that well, or that movie very well, because the last time it was released on Blu-ray was 10 years ago. So
Yeah.
it's not the hot thing right now. If it was released again, they'd be like, oh, okay. Like Single White Female, when you talk about thrillers from the 90s, they usually talk about Single White Female, which was released not that long ago on Shout Factory. So
Yeah.
that's more on people's radars. So I really tell people to watch that movie. It's like, man, it was a movie I just watched all the time. And I feel like, if the movie was made now and this is not going to sell the movie at all, it would be like on Lifetime. Like that's what I feel like, if they were to remake it, it'd be on Lifetime or something, because those
Yeah.
kind of thrillers go to Lifetime now. They don't really, which there's nothing wrong with Lifetime movies. I still like those, obviously,
Yeah,
But
they'll still do a handful of them, I feel like, in the theater, but they're always, like, not very well received,
yeah,
and,
they don't do well.
like, there
Like
wasn't
that.
there one with, like, Katherine Heigl in it called, like, Unforgettable or something? It
Yes.
was, like, with Rosario Dawson, and
Yeah, and I like that movie a lot.
yeah,
I'm
because
all
it
about
probably
those
reminded
thrillers.
you of those old school,
Hmm.
thrillers from the '90s,
Yeah,
so
there's a movie called Traffic that came out a couple years ago that was along those lines, and uh, yeah, movies like there were all kinds of movies like that. I like. There's kind it's kind of a ripoff of Hand That Rocks the Cradle with Nicolas Cage that came out called Inconceivable.
yeah, I don't even know
It,
if I heard of that.
yeah, it's really
I feel
good.
like maybe I have.
Yeah, it was straight to DVD, but I liked it a lot. But it was basically Hand That Rocks the Cradle ripoff, but I was all for it. Gina
Yeah,
Gershner's in it, plays his
yeah.
wife.
Is that an older movie, or did that just come out recently?
2000 like 17 maybe, there's 16.
2017. I feel like I've seen that maybe on the
Yeah.
Walmart DVD bin or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Probably.
it was a movie I watched because I saw that. Well, first of all, it was Nicolas Cage, and I watched the trailer. I was like, "This looks like a Hand That Rocks the Cradle," and
It's cool to see Nicolas Cage get like a bigger prestige comeback. I feel like
yeah,
he's getting like in bigger movies now with Renfield's coming out. That's going to be a big theater movie, and he just
hmm
did Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent last year, and he's
yeah,
I think he should have been nominated for an Oscar with Pig, in my opinion.
yeah.
So
I've always been team Cage. So,
yeah, it's just good to see him, coming back. Every
uh,
actor has their peaks and valleys. I feel like he probably has the most
hmm
peaks and valleys out of every single actor. He's
for a
had
while,
so many highs, so many lows, so many highs. Like he
yeah,
just goes up and down all the time.
for a while,
Um,
people took him as a joke, man. Like, I was like, "Oh, this guy will do anything," but
yeah, he just loves the work,
hmm
and it's like you see all these actors that work for 6, 7 years, and then they're not hot anymore, and then they just don't do anything.
hmm
Nicolas Cage is like, I don't care if I'm hot or not. I'm just going to keep on working and doing
yeah,
whatever's offered to me. And then when I
hmm
get hot again, I'll do the big movies, and when I'm not, I'll do the smaller
yeah,
movies,
exactly.
straight to DVD movies.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, look, we had a great conversation about movies and physical media and collecting, and I really enjoyed it. So before we get out here, do you want to tell the people again where they can find you at on the social medias and all about your channel again?
Yep. You guys can find me on Instagram at Dude Who Loves Movies. You can find me on YouTube at Dude Who Loves Movies, no spaces. And I hope you guys enjoy my stuff. Come hang out, watch me learn what I'm doing because obviously I'm very new, so I'm learning. So
Yeah, very
yeah,
new channel, guys. So everybody go show the dude who loves movies some love. I will definitely be linking your channel and your Instagram, and is though the only two social media accounts you got? You
yes,
got a
only two.
letterbox?
I
You
don't
got a
have
letterbox?
Letterbox. No, I'm still getting used to Instagram. So once I conquer Instagram, I'll go on to maybe TikTok and
Okay, that was gonna be my
Letterbox.
next question. When are we
Yeah,
gonna see some of those sweet Cody dude who loves movie dance moves on TikTok?
on TikTok.
Is that coming pretty soon?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
no,
Well, that look, it was worth an ask. Okay.
no. Yeah, yeah,
Sorry,
man.
sorry.
No. I'm just kidding. No, but I'll definitely be doing TikTok once I get used to it. Like I just did my first, what is it, reel on Instagram. I just did my very
Yeah,
first
that's the
reel.
same thing. That's a
Okay, and
TikTok.
I had no
Yeah.
idea what I was doing. I did the promo for Garrett's stream, so that's the only
Yeah.
time I've ever even tried to do anything like that. So once I get used to that,
And that was
I'll go
great.
on.
Just keep doing those, on TikTok. I'm still trying to figure out TikTok.
TikTok. Yeah,
It's a weird place, you know,
yeah.
but it's pretty cool, I guess. But look, man, I appreciate you coming on here. World's Biggest Collectors, episode 45. You being a part of my World's Biggest Collectors revitalization. This is the new era, pre-recorded. And yeah, I'm excited to share this with everybody when I finally put it up. So if you're watching, hit the like button, leave us a comment down below, leave us some feedback, leave us some feedback on Cody and the fact that he hates the Matrix. Let us know
I
your
don't-
displeasure for that in the comment section. Also, let us know how much you love It's Pat in the comment section if you're a fan of It's Pat. And yeah, we'll see you guys later.